Admiral Jack Turner stared at the message on his screen, then read it again. The blue text glowed in his dim office aboard Earth's orbital command station. His stomach tightened as he understood what it meant. "Another summons," he said to the empty room. "The fifth one." He pressed a button on his desk. "Nancy, get me a direct line to Lisa Green. Tell her it's urgent." The Galactic Council rarely contacted humanity, once per year. 5 times in 3 months was not normal. Something had changed. Jack walked to the window. Earth shone below him, peaceful and blue. Most of its people had no idea how dangerous the galaxy had become for humans. The Council didn't like Earth's fast progress. They didn't like how quickly humans built ships and colonies. They especially didn't like that humans helped weaker species without asking permission. Lisa Green appeared on his screen. Her red hair was tied back, and she looked tired. "Let me guess. The Council wants to yell at us again?" she asked. "Yes. They want a meeting in 7 days at Centaurus Prime." Lisa rubbed her eyes. "I'll prepare the usual team." "We can." "No," Jack interrupted. "I'm going this time, and I want you with me." Silence filled the connection for a moment. "Jack, you're an admiral. Sending a military leader sends the wrong message." "Maybe it's time for a different message," Jack said. "The diplomatic approach isn't working. They keep making demands and threats. I want to look them in the eyes this time." Lisa sighed. "The president won't like this. I'll talk to her. Be ready to leave tomorrow on the Northern Star." 20 hours later, Jack stood on the bridge of humanity's flagship. Captain Olivia Ward greeted him with a salute. "Welcome aboard, Admiral. We're ready to depart." Jack nodded. "Thank you, Captain. Set course for Centaurus Prime." The Northern Star moved away from Earth, its engines glowing blue against the blackness of space. It was the pride of the human fleet, fast, powerful, and built with technology humans had developed on their own, not given to them by the Council. In the ship's conference room, Jack found Lisa studying alien reports on her tablet. "What have you learned?" he asked. Lisa frowned. "Nothing good. The Council has been talking to many species about us. They use the phrase human problem a lot." She showed him the screen. "They've canceled trade permits with 3 of our colonies. They're putting pressure on our allies." "Why now?" Jack asked. "We've been expanding for years." "That's just it," Lisa said. "Look at this growth chart." She showed him a line that curved sharply upward. "This is human influence in the galaxy. 10 years ago, we had 2 colonies. Now we have 27. We've helped 11 species with medicine and technology. The Council sees us moving too fast, growing too strong." Jack sat down heavily. "They want to control us. They want to contain us," Lisa corrected. "There's a difference. They're afraid." "Of what?" "We haven't threatened anyone." Lisa smiled sadly. "Our existence threatens them. The Council has ruled for 2,000 years by keeping younger species dependent. We don't need them, and we show others they don't need the Council either." Jack looked out the window at the stars streaking by. "What do you think they'll demand this time?" "I think this isn't like the other meetings," Lisa said quietly. "This feels like an ultimatum." Jack felt the weight of responsibility on his shoulders. Billions of humans, trillions of lives in the galaxy, all might be affected by what happened at this meeting. "Then we better be ready with our answer," he said. "How long until we reach Centaurus Prime?" 4 days, Lisa replied. Jack nodded. "Then we have 4 days to decide the future of humanity in this galaxy." Outside, the Northern Star raced through the darkness, carrying them toward a confrontation that would change everything. The Northern Star slowed as it approached Centaurus Prime. The space station hung in the darkness like a giant metal flower. Its 5 petal-shaped sections extended from a central hub, each one housing representatives from hundreds of worlds. Jack Turner stood at the front window of the bridge, hands clasped behind his back. After 4 days of travel, they had arrived. "Centaurus Control is hailing us," said Captain Olivia Ward. Tell them we're here for the council meeting, Jack replied. Lisa Green joined him at the window. She wore the blue uniform of Earth's diplomatic corps. I've been studying the latest reports. More species have spoken against us in the past few days. How many friends do we have left? Jack asked. Not many who will say so publicly, Lisa said. The council has too much power over trade routes and resources. The Northern Star docked at an outer arm of the station. Jack, Lisa, and 2 security officers walked through the airlock into Centaurus Prime. A tall, blue-skinned alien waited for them. It had 4 arms and silver eyes with no pupils. This was a Vendari, one of the 7 elder species that ruled the council. I am Xarlthep, council overseer, the alien said in a flat voice. You will follow me. No welcome, no pleasantries. Jack and Lisa exchanged glances as they followed Xarlthep through the station's wide corridors. Other aliens moved out of their way. Some looked at the humans with curiosity, others with fear, a few with hatred. Jack noticed how the different species kept to their own groups. The galaxy was not as united as the council pretended. The minor races seemed nervous around us, Jack whispered to Lisa. They've been told we're dangerous, she replied quietly. The council controls the information networks. Xarlthep led them to a waiting area outside the Great Chamber. The council will call you when ready, he said before walking away. Several other aliens waited in the room. Most avoided the humans, but one approached them. It was smaller than a human with purple skin and large eyes. Lisa Green, the alien said. It has been too long. Lisa smiled. Silara, I didn't know you'd be here. I am now the chief diplomat for all fractions, Silara said. She looked around and lowered her voice. We must speak quickly. The council does not know I am your friend. What's happening, Silara? Lisa asked. The council has been discussing something called containment protocols for humans, Silara whispered. They fear your species grows too powerful, too independent. Jack stepped closer. What exactly are these protocols? Military action, economic isolation, perhaps worse. Silara's large eyes blinked rapidly. Many younger races secretly admire humans. You help others without demanding control. You share technology freely. This threatens how the council rules. A bell chimed, and Silara stepped back quickly. Be careful in there, she said. Whatever they demand, remember you have more friends than you know. The doors to the great chamber opened. Inside, 7 massive seats formed a half-circle on a raised platform. Each seat held one of the elder species, the crystalline quarry that sparkled in the light, the insect-like Zith with their clicking mandibles, the gaseous Vrel contained in special suits, and 4 others, including Xarlthep of the Vendari. Below them sat representatives from dozens of other species. All turned to watch as Jack and Lisa entered. Humans, announced a metallic voice. You stand before the Galactic Council. Approach. Jack felt the weight of countless alien eyes on him as he and Lisa walked to the center of the floor. The room was silent except for their footsteps. He could see the disdain on the faces of the council members. They had already judged humanity. Let us begin, said Xarlthep from the highest seat. Jack straightened his back. Whatever happened in this room would decide the future of Earth and perhaps the entire galaxy. The 7 council leaders looked down at Jack and Lisa from their high seats. The room was quiet. Hundreds of alien eyes watched to see what would happen. Councillor Drav of the Zith rose first. His insect body made clicking sounds as he moved. When he spoke, his words were translated through a device at his neck. Humans of Earth, Drav said, you have been called here to answer for your violations of council norms. Jack stood still, his face calm. Lisa took notes on her small tablet. Your species has broken our rules many times. Drav continued. You developed faster than light travel on your own instead of receiving it through proper channels. You have built colonies without council approval. Your military ships are stronger than our regulations allow. You trade technology with species we have not approved. Each charge hung in the air. Jack noticed how some of the younger species in the audience shifted uncomfortably. The accusations against Earth were things many of them wished they could do. Next, Counselor Isvera of the quarry spoke. Light reflected off her crystal body in rainbow patterns. "We have evidence of human ships helping worlds that are under Council sanctions," she said. "Your people gave medicine to the Krell when we ordered no contact. You provided food to the Tavari during their resource dispute with us. This undermines Council authority." Jack looked at Lisa, who nodded slightly. It was time for Earth's response. Jack stepped forward. "Honored Council," he said, his voice strong and clear. "I do not deny these actions." A murmur ran through the chamber. The council members looked surprised. They had expected excuses or denials. However, Jack continued, "I question the rules themselves. Earth joined the galactic community in good faith. We believed the council represented justice and progress. Instead, we found a system that keeps younger species weak and dependent." Tarlthep leaned forward. "You dare question 10,000 years of galactic order?" "I do," Jack said simply. "And I will show you why." Lisa stepped forward and activated a projection from her tablet. Charts and images appeared in the air. "This is Proxima Colony," she said, showing a thriving world with green fields and shining cities. "Humans settled it 4 years ago. It now produces food for 17 different species. And this," she changed the image, "is Vega Station, built by the Council 50 years ago. It struggles with poverty and disease because Council rules prevent its people from developing their own technologies." She showed more examples. Worlds that worked with humans were growing and healthy. Worlds that depended only on the Council were failing. "The problem is not that we break your rules," Lisa said. "It's that your rules break worlds." The chamber erupted with voices. Some aliens shouted angrily. Others nodded in agreement. The council members spoke urgently among themselves. Jack watched their reactions. He saw fear in their eyes. The council wasn't just angry. They were scared of what humanity represented. Arlthep raised all 4 of his arms, calling for quiet. The room slowly settled. "Your arguments change nothing," he said coldly. "The council has maintained peace for millennia. Without our control, the galaxy would fall into chaos and war. Is peace worth the cost of progress?" Jack asked. "Is stability worth the suffering of billions?" "Enough." Tharlthep's voice boomed through the chamber. "We will recess for 1 hour. When we return, we will deliver our judgment." As the council members rose from their seats, Jack could see they were shaken but unwilling to change. This was not a trial. It had never been one. The council had already decided humanity's fate. "What happens now?" Jack asked Lisa quietly as they were led from the chamber. "Now," she replied, "we prepare for their ultimatum." Jack and Lisa waited in a small room outside the great chamber. The hour passed slowly. Jack paced back and forth, while Lisa reviewed data on her tablet. "They'll try to make an example of us," Lisa said, not looking up from her screen. Jack stopped pacing. "What do our intelligence reports say about their military strength?" Lisa glanced around to make sure they were truly alone, then lowered her voice. "That's the interesting part. The Council has been losing ships. 5 major species have quietly reduced their contributions to the Council fleet in the past year. They don't have the strength they pretend to have. So their threats might be empty." "Not empty," Lisa corrected. "Just not as powerful as they want us to believe." A bell chimed, signaling their return to the chamber. Jack straightened his uniform and took a deep breath. "Whatever they demand," he said, "we need time to consult with Earth." When they re-entered the great chamber, the mood had changed. The council members sat in a tight formation. Their faces showed no doubt, only cold determination. The audience sections were now completely full, with representatives from hundreds of worlds watching. Grand Arbiter Feltor of the Vrel floated forward in his containment suit. The gaseous being glowed faintly green inside his metal shell. "The Galactic Council has deliberated," Feltor announced, his voice sounding metallic through his translator. "We have ruled unanimously." Jack noticed how the word unanimously made several junior council members look down. Someone had pressured them. "Humanity has demonstrated a dangerous disregard for galactic order," Feltor continued. "Your rapid expansion and technological development threatens the balance we have maintained for thousands of years." Feltor's containment suit hummed as he moved closer. "Therefore, the Council issues these requirements to Earth and all human colonies. First, you will dismantle 70% of your fleet. Second, all human colonies must accept Council oversight. Third, Earth must share all new technology with the Council for approval before use. Fourth, a Council monitoring station will be established in your home system." The chamber was silent. Even the most anti-human aliens seemed shocked by the severity of these demands. "And if we refuse?" Jack asked, his voice steady. "Then containment protocols will be initiated," Feltor replied. Jack understood what that meant. Military action, blockades, possibly worse. "The Council gives you 48 hours to begin compliance," Sarlthep added from his high seat. "We require an answer now on whether you accept these terms." Jack stepped forward. "The decision to accept such terms cannot be made by me alone. I must consult with Earth's government. I request time to communicate with my leaders." The council members looked at each other. Finally, Sarlthep nodded. "You have 6 hours to consult with Earth. No more." As soon as they returned to their private room, Jack established a secure connection to Earth. President Paul Winters appeared on the screen, his face serious. "We received the transmission of the council meeting," the president said. "The entire government is in emergency session." Jack described the council's demands in detail. "What's your assessment, Admiral?" President Winters asked. "They're afraid of us, sir," Jack replied. "But Lisa has information suggesting they lack the military strength to enforce these demands." Lisa stepped into view. "Mr. President, our intelligence indicates the Council is bluffing. Several species are already pulling away from their control." The President was quiet for a moment. Around him, Jack could see other government leaders in deep discussion. "We've been debating our response since watching the first session," President Winters finally said. "What the Council is asking would end human independence forever. We will not accept that." He leaned forward. "Admiral Turner, I am authorizing a response that may change humanity's place in the galaxy. Are you prepared for that responsibility?" Jack straightened his back. "Yes, Mr. President." "Then listen carefully to what we're going to do." 6 hours later, Jack and Lisa walked back to the Great Chamber. The room was more crowded than before. Representatives from dozens of species had come to hear Earth's answer. They filled every seat and stood along the walls. Jack could feel the tension in the air. The 7 council members sat in their high seats, looking down at the humans with cold eyes. Sarlthep raised his hand for silence, and the room grew quiet. "Has Earth reached a decision?" he asked. Jack stepped forward. His face was calm, but his heart beat fast. What he would say next would change the future for humanity, and perhaps for the entire galaxy. "We have," he said, his voice clear and strong. The chamber was completely silent. Even the usual whispers had stopped. Everyone knew this moment was important. "Earth rejects all council demands," Jack announced. Gasps and murmurs filled the room. The council members leaned forward in shock. They had expected argument or compromise, not outright rejection. Furthermore, Jack continued, "Earth withdraws from all council treaties and agreements, effective immediately." Sarlthep stood up, his forearms spread wide in anger. "This is rebellion. You cannot simply leave the council." "We can, and we do," Jack replied calmly. "Earth will form its own coalition of willing species based on principles of self-determination and mutual respect." Lisa stepped forward and added, "Any military action against Earth or its allies will be met with proportionate response, and any species wishing to trade or ally with humanity without council interference is welcome to contact us." The chamber erupted in chaos. Council members shouted threats. Some representatives cheered. Others argued among themselves. Sarlthep tried to restore order but failed. In the confusion, Jack noticed several junior representatives moving toward them. They kept their heads down, clearly not wanting to be seen by the council. Admiral Turner, one said quietly. He was from a small species called the Krell. My world would be interested in your coalition. The council has kept us dependent for too long. A Taveri representative joined them. Same for us. We've seen how humans treat their allies. We want that chance. One by one, representatives from 12 different species spoke quietly to Jack and Lisa. They wanted freedom from council control. They wanted what Earth offered. Sarlthep finally restored order by pounding his fist on his chair. His voice boomed through the chamber. This meeting is over. Humans, you have made a terrible mistake. The council will not tolerate this challenge to our authority. You will be contained. Jack looked up at the angry council. For thousands of years, you've controlled the galaxy by keeping younger species weak and afraid. That ends today. We're not asking for permission to be free. We're taking our freedom, and we're offering it to others too. He turned to leave, with Lisa beside him. As they walked toward the door, Jack spoke one last time without looking back. The stars belong to all of us, not just to you. Back on the Northern Star, Jack stood at the window watching Centaurus Prime grow smaller as they pulled away. Lisa joined him, smiling for the first time in days. That went well, she said. Jack raised an eyebrow. The council just threatened to attack Earth. How is that well? Because we're not alone, Lisa replied. Those 12 representatives. That's just the beginning. My sources say many more worlds want to join us, but we're afraid to speak openly. Will they actually break from the council? Some will, Lisa said. The brave ones. Then others will follow. The council is powerful, but they rule through fear and control. We've just shown the galaxy there's another choice. Jack nodded slowly. Let's hope we can build something better than what we're leaving behind. The Northern Star jumped to light speed, heading home to prepare Earth for what was coming. Behind them, the first cracks had appeared in the Council's power. The galaxy would never be the same. 2 months passed since the dramatic council meeting. Jack Turner stood on the bridge of the Northern Star, studying reports from across the Orion Spur. His face was grim as he read. It's spreading faster than we predicted, he said to Lisa Green, who stood beside him. 17 worlds infected now. A deadly sickness had appeared first on a small world called Teryx. Then it jumped to nearby planets. Now it threatened dozens of species, all of them council members. The council response has been exactly what we expected, Lisa said. They set up quarantines but offer no real help. The view screen showed images of suffering aliens. Council ships blocked access to the infected worlds, leaving the sick to die. Captain Olivia Ward entered the bridge. Admiral, Dr. Claire Nelson is ready to report. Claire Nelson appeared on the main screen. She was the lead scientist of Earth's medical team, with tired eyes and messy brown hair. We've done it, she said without greeting. The treatment works on all 12 alien physiologies we tested. We can stop the sickness. Jack nodded. How soon can we mass produce it? We already started. First batches will be ready tomorrow. The Council has forbidden any ships from approaching the infected worlds, Lisa reminded them. They say it's to contain the sickness, but they're letting people die. Jack looked at the star map showing Council blockades around the suffering planets. Then we break through. 3 days later, Jack stood in a hangar filled with medical supplies. Ships from Earth's fleet were being loaded, but they weren't alone. Vessels from the Phyrexians, the Krell, and 4 other species worked alongside human crews. Since Earth had rejected the Council's demands, something unexpected had happened. Many species had quietly reached out to humanity. Some openly declared their support. Others helped in secret. The coalition is growing, Lisa said as she joined Jack in the hangar. The Council didn't expect this. They thought other species would fear us, Jack replied. Instead, they see us as hope. The first mission launched that day. Human ships, flying with allies from 7 species, headed for Terex. When they reached the Council blockade, the Council ships fired warning shots. Hold position, ordered the Council commander. Medical intervention is not authorized. Jack, watching from the northern stars, sent a simple reply. We are coming through. Fire on us, and be remembered as those who let their own people die. The Council ships hesitated. Then, one by one, they moved aside. Dr. Nelson's team landed on Terex and distributed the treatment. Within days, the sick began to recover. News spread throughout the galaxy. More worlds called for help. The Council threatened military action, but their threats rang hollow. Ship captains refused orders to fire on medical vessels. Some even joined the human coalition. A month after the Terex mission, Jack received an urgent message from Solara, now the Phyrexian ambassador to Earth. My homeworld votes today, she told him. We will formally leave the Council and request membership in your coalition. You understand what that means? Jack asked. The Council will label you rebels. Solara's large eyes showed no fear. We have watched for months as humans, and their allies saved lives, while the Council saved only their power. The choice is clear. The Phyrexian homeworld became the first major world to officially break from the Council. Others followed. Each week, ships arrived at Earth, carrying representatives seeking alliance. In his office on Earth's orbital station, Jack looked at the new star map. Nearly 30% of the galaxy now showed an Earth green rather than Council blue. They wanted to contain us, he said to Lisa. Instead, they're watching their control slip away. Lisa nodded, but the Council won't accept defeat easily. They'll try something desperate soon. Let them try, Jack replied. We've shown the galaxy a different way forward. There's no going back now. As they spoke, far beyond known space, something ancient stirred. The real test for humanity and its new allies was still to come. Lisa Green walked through the ancient library on the Tavari homeworld. The walls were made of a strange metal that seemed to glow from within. The Tavari were one of the newest members of the human coalition, and they had invited Lisa to see something important. An old Tavari named Mirithel led her between tall shelves filled with crystal tablets. Tavari were small beings with 6 limbs and skin that changed color with their emotions. Mirithel's skin was currently a deep purple of respect. These records go back further than any in the galaxy, Mirithel said. They were old when the Council races were still learning to make fire. He took a crystal tablet from a special case and placed it on a reading table. The crystal lit up, showing strange symbols. We have kept these hidden from the Council for thousands of years, Mirithel explained. They tell of a cycle that repeats throughout galactic history. Lisa studied the symbols as Mirithel translated them. Each cycle begins with many separate civilizations, he read. Then comes a time of unity under one power. But this power grows too controlling. It fears change and stops progress. The galaxy becomes stuck. The crystal showed images of different alien civilizations rising and falling. And then, Mirithel continued, come the unbound ones. Those who reject the old order. Those who value freedom over control. Those who break the cycle. Lisa looked up sharply. The unbound ones. Yes, Mirithel said. Read this description from 50,000 years ago. Lisa read the translated text. They will come from a world of blue water. They will master the stars quickly. They will help without demanding control. Many will follow them. The old powers will try to contain them and fail. This sounds like humans, Mirithel finished for her. Yes, we believe your species may be the unbound ones of this cycle. Lisa took pictures of the tablets and sent them to Earth immediately. Over the next week, she worked with Tavari scholars to translate more of the ancient records. What they found both excited and worried her. Back on the Northern Star, she showed her findings to Jack. If these records are accurate, Humanity's role is to break the current galactic order and create something new, she explained. The records say this has happened many times before. Jack studied the images. Do they say what happens to the unbound ones? To us? Lisa hesitated. That part is unclear. In some cycles, the unbound ones created a better galaxy and thrived. In others, they faced a great challenge that destroyed them. What kind of challenge? Before Lisa could answer, Captain Ward rushed into the room. Admiral, we're receiving emergency signals from our outer colonies, she said. Something is attacking them. The main screen showed a distant human colony. Strange ships hung in orbit around it. They were massive, black, and shaped like arrowheads. We've lost contact with New Hope Colony, Ward reported, and 3 others have gone silent after these ships appeared. Jack stared at the screen. What are they? Council ships. No, Lisa said quietly. The Council is still building up their fleet. These are something else. Another officer spoke up. Sir, we've intercepted Council communications. They've seen these ships too, at their outer territories, but they're ignoring warnings from their own colonies. Jack turned to Lisa. The records. Did they mention anything like this? Lisa nodded slowly. The final part of the cycle. The archives called them the Void Heralds. They come from beyond the galaxy. The records say they appear when the galaxy is weakened by division. How convenient for them to arrive now, Jack said grimly. The Council is still focused on containing us, Lisa said. They don't see the real threat. Jack studied the images of the black ships. Their design was like nothing humans had ever seen. Send warnings to all Coalition worlds, he ordered. Prepare our fleet and send a message to the Council. Tell them what we know. Will they listen? Lisa asked. Jack's face was hard. Probably not. But we have to try. Because if these are the Void Heralds from the archives, then the real war is just beginning. 3 Council representatives stood in the meeting room of Earth's orbital station. They looked uncomfortable being on a human station. Jack and President Winters sat across from them. The mood was tense. The Void Heralds have destroyed 7 Council worlds in the past month, said the lead representative, a quarry named Ilara. Our defenses cannot stop them. We know, Jack replied. They've attacked 4 of our colonies too. After weeks of fighting, they had learned what the Void Heralds wanted. The ancient race moved from galaxy to galaxy, taking resources and destroying civilizations. They had done this for millions of years. The Taveri records were right, Lisa said from her seat near the window. The Void Heralds wait until the galaxy is divided, then they attack. Ilara's crystal body dimmed slightly. The Council admits we were wrong to focus on containing humanity while this threat grew. We now ask for alliance against our common enemy. Jack looked at President Winters, who nodded slightly. What exactly are you asking? Jack asked. Join your fleet with ours, Ilara said. Share your weapons technology. Help us stop the Void Heralds before they destroy everything. And after? President Winters asked. If we win, what then? Back to the Council trying to control us. The Council representatives looked at each other. We can discuss new arrangements, one said carefully. That's not good enough, Jack replied. We need to be clear now. President Winters stood up. Here is our answer. We will fight the Void Heralds. But we will not submit to Council authority again. Any world that wishes to join our coalition is welcome. But we will make our own decisions. You will use this crisis to break the Council completely, Ilara asked, her voice sharp. No, Jack said. The Council broke itself by putting control above cooperation. We're offering a different path forward. The meeting ended with no clear agreement. After the Council representatives left, Jack and Lisa stayed to talk with the President. They're desperate, Lisa said. The Void Heralds have targeted Council worlds first because they're the current power. Jack brought up a star map. We've positioned our fleet here, creating a defensive line. But we're only protecting coalition worlds. Is that enough? The president asked. No, Jack admitted. If the Void Heralds destroy the Council worlds, they'll come for us next. But our terms stand. We help as equals, not as subjects. 2 days later, reports came in of a massive Void Herald attack on the Council homeworlds. Their fleet was breaking. The president called an emergency meeting. We have to decide now, he said. Do we help them, even after everything? Jack stepped forward. We fight the Heralds, but on our terms. We offer protection to any world that wants it, Council or not. But we don't submit to their authority again. The decision was made. Human ships and their coalition allies moved to engage the Void Heralds. As they prepared for battle, Jack received a request for a final meeting with the full council. In the great chamber where they had once been judged, Jack now stood as humanity's voice. The council members looked defeated. You have come to gloat, Carl Thep asked bitterly. No, Jack replied. I've come to be clear. We'll fight the Void Heralds. We'll even protect your worlds if they ask for it. But the old galaxy is gone. There will be no more council control over other species. And if we refuse these terms, asked Feltor. Then you chose your fate when you wanted us contained, Jack said simply. We're leaving you to it. Our doors remain open to any who wish to join us. As Jack left the chamber, Lisa waited outside. They'll agree, she said. They have no choice. Jack nodded. The cycle is breaking, just as the Tavari records predicted. What comes next will be up to all of us. As they walked back to their ship, they saw hundreds of vessels fleeing toward Earth's space. The exodus had begun. The Galactic Council's time had ended. A new age for the galaxy had arrived, with humanity leading the way.